Welcome, fight fans,
to the Fighters Voice Kick-Ass Podcast.
Your Fight Talk Authority.
Not to mention the most entertaining and talked about podcast with your kick-ass host, Richard Ortiz.
You mad? Come at me, bro.
And his loyal kick-ass co-host, Senor Cole Escovedo.
Streaming live and worldwide.
Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighters Voice
Kick-Ass Podcast.
Fresno, California. We're live here on the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. We got a great show for you today. I'm waiting for my co-host with the most, the UFC veteran himself. He got stuck in traffic, but he's on his way. So you know what? Don't panic, my man, because he's on his way as always. You know, Cole hits a speed bump here and there. My mic kind of went down. Hits a speed bump here and there, but he always makes the event just like a fighter does. He's always fighting. He's always ready to go 24/7. We got a great show for you today. We have with us the one, the only, the beautiful music recording artist and worldwide national anthem singer. Let me say that again, worldwide national anthem singer, which means she can go all over the world because she can sing in two languages, both English and Spanish. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, did I say that right? I was thinking of Mountain Dew because I need some Mountain Dew. I need to get wired up right here, man. I need some Red Bull. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Janet Uribe. Welcome to the show, Janet.
Hi, thank you, Richard, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's a pleasure having you on.
I'm really excited. I've never done a boxing podcast, so this is really fun.
Well, actually, it's boxing, MMA. It's called the Fighter's Voice. And if you really break it down, it's anybody with a voice that is fighting for something in their life, whether it's cancer, fighting for the rent, fighting to get ahead in life, fighting to become a national anthem singer in front of 15,000 people, Save Mart Center, Fresno, California.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Well, thanks again for thinking of me and having me. It's a true pleasure to be here, to be on air with you.
Hey, the pleasure's all ours here at the Fighter's Voice. I was actually trying. It's been close to 3 years I've been talking to you about coming on board and getting you on here.
Yeah.
Giving you a chance to tell your story.
Yeah, and I don't know how you usually do your interviews. Like if you have the people go over where you record to go live on your show or not. But I mean, this is great. This works out too. Unfortunately, due to quarantine, we're very limited onto, doing things and recording and whatnot. But this definitely works out. So I'm really excited and happy that you're still moving forward, with this and still having people join in.
Now, yes, we're giving it our best shot. We'll continue to move forward. And, the world may be at standstill, but we're not going to give up breathing and living, and we're going to make the most of it, just like we all are here at the Fighter's Voice to continue to fight. And don't get me wrong, next time you're in Fresno, California, you're stopping by the studio. We got to make time, get you in the studio.
Yes, I definitely do. I will. I mean, I can't wait to get out there, just like I'm sure everyone else. Everything's on standby. And I feel like we're all kind of working from home. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely will stop by whenever I'm over there, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yes, right. That's right. Now, let's talk about where did it all begin? When did you notice that you just had these pipes, these vocal cords, that you wanted to become a singer? Where did that start from? Did it start in high school as a little girl? Did somebody influence you? Well, let's get right down to the very beginning.
Yeah, it's funny because the other day my cousin sent me multiple videos. He went through, their videotapes, some family archives they had, hidden treasures as they'll call them. Yeah. And he pulled up a lot of videos of me performing for our family since I was maybe 6, 7, 8, 10 years old. But I didn't really learn that I had the voice to actually sing, to be a performer, a singer, until I was 16. So I was in high school when that happened.
Okay.
And it was by mere coincidence, honestly. I was doing acting classes, and one of my classes got canceled. Yeah, so I was more into, the whole drama. I've always liked to be, I guess you can say, the center of attention, you know. I'm not shy at all.
That's good.
I was doing acting classes, and then one of my classes got canceled, and they opened up a voice class, and they suggested that we give it a try. It wasn't my thing, but I was like, you know what, why not? You know, it's just for fun. I was a teenager and full of energy, and I was like,
you knew everything, right?
Fun, you know?
You knew everything as a teenager, right?
Right. I knew everything. Everyone knows everything at that age. But so anyway, I took the classes, and more, I guess the teacher would get closer to me as that we would sing. And she told me, she's like, can you wait after class for a couple of minutes? I'd like to have a word with you. And I said, sure. And I said, oh, man, I'm probably in trouble, you know. But no, she just basically told me, like, girl, you have a voice. Like, I don't know if you can hear yourself, but you definitely have a lot of hidden talent. And I said, no way, right? So then she said, please get involved in, like, choir and stuff like that at your school. So then I did. I auditioned, I tried out for choir, and when I did, my choir teacher signed my paperwork, and he said, you're in, but you're not in choir, you're in vocal ensemble instead. He's like, you can be way more advanced so quickly. He said, in a year, I can have you singing solo parts. And I said, wow, this is really happening. Like, this is really true. So it all started from there.
Well, you know what? Hey, let's give a shout out to your teacher. Who was the first teacher that made contact with you and said, hey, you know what? You just have a different type of breathing, a different type of vocal cords, a different sound than everybody else. Who was that first teacher?
You know, it was Mr. Rogers.
Like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? That Mr. Rogers, or just happened the same name?
Like that, they just happened to have the same name, but yeah, he was the choir teacher that said, you know, like, I'm going to have you singing solo parts in a year, and he sure did. By my senior year, I was singing solo parts for choir, and I was performing regional Mexican music as well.
Well, let's give props to Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, if you're listening, or anybody in your family is listening, appreciate your honesty and your belief in Janet Uribe.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so you picked up singing in high school, and how did that continue to grow?
You know, it grew. It grew slowly. I didn't go into singing professionally right away. It was difficult because I come from a strict parenting background, and obviously my dad had goals for me, and he worked hard to get me through college, and he said, young lady, you are not doing anything else but going to college and getting yourself an education. And then after that, you decide on your own. You're going to be an adult, and you can decide if you want to be a singer or a doctor or whatever you need to be. He said, but I'm going to make sure that you stay in college. And so I did. I went to the University of Santa Barbara, got myself a bachelor's degree in psychology. I came back home with a diploma, and I said, all right, Dad, here I go. Your turn to support me into this, because I know it's going to be hard, but, you know, I'm going to do this. And so I did. So in the year 2009, I came back, and I started slowly but surely taking more classes. I took some vocal lessons with one of the most recognized mariachi vocal coaches. And then it just went on from there.
How was that first conversation like? You said, Dad, you know what, the teachers believe in me, this is something I want to do, and yet Dad said, okay, that's fine, but not until you finish college. And you know what, those are great goals as a parent puts in place, and high expectations, so there's no knocking on that at all.
Yeah, you know, and I think this obviously came later in life as I matured and I got older. I really do appreciate, and I'm very grateful for my dad, because I think if I had the chance to do it all over again, I would do it just the same. I think obviously getting an education was very important and is key to my life now, as I'm able to I guess, have full, well-rounded conversations. I mean, I like to think that I sound a little educated when I speak, you know? So,
I can tell.
Definitely, So I'm definitely grateful for that, and it was difficult because he comes from a strong Mexican family background, and you know, and his roots is a whole machismo, and it was hard to get into him because he didn't think it was safe. Obviously, I'm his only girl. I'm the only girl in the family. I have nothing but brothers, and so he was like, "Wow, like you're really gonna go out in a world in an industry full of sharks?" And I said, "Dad, honestly, there's sharks everywhere. No matter where I'll go, you know, I'll take with me the you know, the value that you taught me. I feel like I can stay grounded, you know, with what I've learned from you guys. And so far, so good. And so I think I've proved them right so far throughout the years. I've been very blessed to have a wonderful team. And, you know, I think that we've been working slowly, but we've been making great progress.
No, I met some. I think I met two people from your team. I know there's is he your manager, a big guy? I mean, great vocals as well, a great artist as well. I met him, had the pleasure. Nice guy. He's like a gentle giant. Big guy, just soft like a teddy bear.
Exactly.
Nice
His
gentleman.
name is Bobby Castro.
Okay.
And you met him, and I believe you met Edgar Rodriguez, who is my producer. He's also part of the team, and my team grew. So now we had Iris Corral and Oscar Bañuelos, who is part of Bossy Inc., and that's the label I'm under.
What's the name of your label?
Bossy Inc. It's BOCI Inc. Yes. And so I've been really blessed. Like I said, I've been really grateful. And then we have another person, Andres Rodriguez, who is like an advisor and is also part of my team. And then I think you met even like the girl that does my makeup, Lorena Rodriguez, who is also part of like the Bossy Inc. family, part of the lovely team, as we would call it.
There you go.
So yeah. So Bobby, he's the first person I started working with. I think in the year 2013, 2014, that's when we started working. And then Andres Rodriguez came along, and then Edgar Rodriguez. And then it was through Andres and Nancy Rodriguez who gave me the
shout out to Nancy.
opportunity.
Shout out to Nancy.
Yes, you know Nancy. Shout out to Nancy, of course, definitely. She reached out to Andres about possibly getting a national anthem singer for Rick Merrigan and JC Ramirez, who was the first
talking about sharks. You mentioned Rick, so I said talking about sharks. Yeah.
Yeah. No. He's been super professional.
No. I'm talking about a land shark. The man who hustles and eats up every opportunity in front of him. That's what I'm talking about.
Agreed.
Making something happen. Yes.
Yeah, definitely a pleasure working with him.
Yes.
I couldn't agree with you anymore. So yeah, that was my first fight that I had the opportunity to sing for at the Tachi Palace. Was the very first time.
Tachi Palace. Let's talk about the very first time when, as if to say, okay, Dad, this is what I'm doing. The first time that your dad heard you sing with all your heart, where you just nailed it, and he just had that look on him, or you probably had that conversation afterwards. How did that go? How did that conversation take place? How did it go? What was it all about? The first time he got to hear Mija, his daughter, his little baby, sing.
You know, I want to say that he felt very proud, as a lot of people were coming up to him, congratulating him. And then I'm sure he was scared. He was scared for his little girl, you know, because I'm sure he spent all his life protecting me and keeping me from harm, and then here he is cutting the cord and letting his baby girl grow up and just take the chances and risk it all to fulfill her dreams. And so I think that his eyes lightened up for sure.
That's right.
You know, my mom cries every time she sees me perform. But, you know, I think it was just maybe the acceptance grew a little more over the years when he saw that all the things I would get myself through, which were like competitions and, you know, different events that I would take on, the amount of people and the response that came up to me and said, you know, you have a lovely voice, you got to keep it going. I think that kind of reassured perhaps maybe the small possibility of him supporting the idea of me being an artist, you know?
Yeah. And believe me, he's still watching over you. He's still protecting you. I mean, don't think for any minute that he let off the gas pedal. He's still, oh no. Matter of fact, he's probably texting you right now saying, "What are you doing?"
You know what's funny? That
Clock, please.
When I'm on tour, he calls in all the time. He's like, "What are you doing? Who's there?" Where, you know,
that's right.
He asked 1,000,001 questions,
Good.
like till this day.
Good for him. What's your dad's name? Let's give him a shout out. Thank you.
His name's Jose Uribe.
There you are, Jose. Hey,
yes,
keep doing what you're doing, my man.
that.
Don't let up, man. I don't care what time it is. You get that feeling, give her a call and say, "Who's there?" And you know what? Say, "What are you doing?" You know what, Dad? Next time, FaceTime her. At 2:00 in the morning, just FaceTime her and say, "Hey, let me see where you're at. What are we doing?"
Right.
That's a cool handle right there. Okay, let's talk about that opportunity. You said Nancy made contact with you. How did that conversation go? Did she say, "Hey, girl, what are you doing?" Or she said, "Hey, there's an opportunity right here.
No.
This can happen."
She didn't speak to me.
Okay.
She didn't speak to me directly.
Okay.
So I think she called Andres Rodriguez. And then, you know, he reached out to Bobby and said, you know, "Hey, there's an opportunity for Janet to sing the anthem, but I think they want both anthems, the Mexican anthem and, you know, the American anthem as well." So I said, "Oh my God, I have to learn the Mexican anthem in a week." So I put on that. Yeah. It was just an experience that I will definitely never forget. I felt like it was very risky since it had been the very first time I sang the national anthem. Yeah. But it was also one of my dreams to do so. Yeah. So I said, this is so early on in my music career. Can I really do this?
Yeah.
You know, so I question the fact that should I take it or not? You know, what if I make a fool out of myself, or what if I forget the words? Because that tends to happen a lot to artists, and even artists that are very experienced, you know. But then I said, if I don't do this now, I don't know when I'll ever will. So I took on the opportunity and I said, yeah, I got this, even though I was like so nervous. And I will forever be grateful with Nancy and Rick for giving me the opportunity, knowing that, you know, I didn't really have a big name. And they said, yeah, bring her in. Let's give this girl a shot. And I got on that, on the ring, and I just poured my heart out singing both anthems, and the crowd went crazy.
Yes.
And I remember, I'm never going to forget, the owner of the Tachi Palace, the wife, she came up to me in tears, and she said, I have not heard this rendition of the national anthem thing with so much heart. Like, I felt it, and that was just so beautiful. Like, that was one of my highlights for sure thus far after singing the national anthem. When someone comes up to you and they really like appreciate like the love and the passion for the art of singing, you know, it felt really good.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Hey, I came up to you too. I mean, I think every other show that you did, I just said, hey, man, I got to interview her. She has a great voice. But I remember the first time I heard you.
Thank you so much.
I'm like, man, this girl got skills.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it feels really great. And it's reassuring us for sure, you know, that your all the sacrifices were not in vain, and that I'm doing the right thing. I'm following my dreams, and I'm going after them, and I'm risking it all. But what's the grand price without a risk, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like everything comes with sacrifice.
You know, it's funny you say that you're going after your dreams. I just had this conversation earlier today with my daughter, Cassandra Ortiz, my baby girl. I love you, baby.
Hey, Cassandra.
Yeah, and my granddaughter, Sienna. Oh, she's a handful. Shout out for Sienna. So I was
Shout out to her too.
yes, I was telling her this today. I said, my granddaughter, you're going to be able to tell her that, hey, my dad went after his dreams. Win, lose, or draw is going after his dreams. Because if you talk to people that are working every single day, that are making a living, if you were to pull them off to the side with nobody there and ask them, are you happy? They would probably say yes, of course. Are you going after your dreams? Are you going after it?
Right.
Not too many people have that opportunity to go after it, or
Not
or
too many.
to risk it all, or get the support around them. But you're doing it, and you know, I'm going after it myself.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
great risk. When I say great risk, it's a great risk, but it's exciting. All you're waiting for is that
Exactly.
opportunity, and you know you can deliver it, and you have, and you have. So
Right. I agree 100%. You know, I think I was having this conversation too yesterday.
right,
About the fact that I love what I do, and not too many people get to say that.
yeah,
Some people wish for it, they desire it, but unfortunately, because of certain life circumstances, they can't. You know, and it just I really have the privilege to have a lot of support behind me, but also the willpower to do it. Because yes, I've had many obstacles and many sacrifices, but I don't stop, and I don't think anybody should. And
No.
I feel like the more you believe in yourself, the more other people will too.
oh,
So always
absolutely.
follow. Yeah, always follow what's in your heart, and anything, absolutely anything is possible.
Exactly. Very well said. Now, you're going to get followers regardless. If they're there to follow you, to watch you, hopefully, oh, I hope she falls. I hope she fails. I hope, because that's just
Yeah.
part of this life that we live in. But you continue to go, you continue to grow.
That's right.
And no means opportunity to you. Because a lot of people and everybody always tell you, no, you can't do it. Oh, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not ready. But it's just a mindset for you to step out and get that opportunity at Tachi Palace. I'm not sure how many people were there, but I remember you at Save Mart Center just knocking it down in a sold-out Jose Ramirez fight with 15,000 plus, just yelling and going crazy. In the minute you ended that last vocal, that last chorus, that last note, the crowd just blew up. I mean, and I asked you that
I
before.
got the chills just thinking of it.
Well, I asked you that before. How does that make you feel, knowing that everybody there just wants to be around you and touch you and just reach out to you during that moment? Because during that moment, that
Yeah.
second, when they're singing and listening to you, let me get deep on you. They're not worried about their bills. They're not worried about their husband or wife. They're not worried about, is there food on the table. They're not worried about, hey, is this fighter ready or not. They're not worried about any problems at all. They're just soaking it in for that moment, that time. They were, I don't want to say heaven, but it's pretty close. They're feeling good. How does that make you feel?
Sweet. Oh, incredible. It's surreal at the time, and it's such a blessing.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing, honestly, to be able to live this, to be able to get up there and pour my heart out, because that's really what I desire. I mean, I sing from the heart.
Yes, you
And the only thing that I really wish is for people to connect with me. And the fact that they do feels incredible. I mean, I feel like crying when I see that response from the audience, you know? It feels great. It feels great to know that you connected with them and that they appreciate it so much, as much as you doing it for them, you know, as much as you sharing it and giving them like the chills that they say they get when I sing. I love that. I love that feeling, because that's why I pour my heart into it. Like, I feel like I want to be transparent and say, look, like, these feelings are okay to feel. And, like, I'm here with you. Even though I'm the one on stage singing, like, I know what you're going through. I know that you're feeling this, and I know that music makes you feel great.
Yes.
You know, and I love the fact that I can be that person to make you feel great.
Well, for that moment, you're singing, you're everybody's serenity. And enough said. That's real talk.
Right.
That's real talk. And I recognize talent, and that's why.
Thank you.
That's one of the first times I went up to you, and I usually interview fighters or anybody in the fight business, and you were the first, other than boxer or MMA fighter, that I interviewed. So and I didn't stop there. I said, you know what? I'm just not going to just interview people who put a mouthpiece in their mouth and swing at each other. I remember interviewing you at Tachi Palace, and then you kind of sang a small note too, and it's kind of been your trademark. Every time I speak to you, you kind of sing us in the intro or the outro, and you know, I always ask you, and hey, how you doing? And you know, I see you here and there, but you're doing great. I follow you on Instagram, on Facebook. You're making leaps and bounds, and you're making these huge jumps. Talk to us about your LP that you have out, and do you write your own music? Do you produce your own music? Excuse me. Who composes it? Is it a team effort, or is it something that you just feel from the heart?
All of the above, really. So I have a couple of singles out already. The most recent one is an Adele cover, actually.
Okay.
Adele is a great English singer. She's from England, and she's won multiple Grammys. And one of her songs just kind of holds a special place in my heart because I love the way she delivers her heart into that song. So it was difficult at first to choose because she has a couple actually that make me feel that way. But I wanted to do something different. I wanted to translate an English song to Spanish and record it with mariachi, which is what we did with this song.
Right.
And it turned out amazing.
Awesome.
I mean, I think so, and I feel like a lot of people that have heard it feel the same way because the feedback that I've gotten so far it's been really great, thankfully. And you know, I've done a couple of tours in Mexico now.
Nice.
At about maybe 2 years ago, I had
Worldwide.
been invited for the very first time. Yeah, to sing for the Encuentro del Mariachi, which is like an international mariachi festival, I guess you could say. And it's very popular. And from there, I just got invited, and more opportunities came about for me to work over in Mexico. And I've opened up for big artists such as Los Tigres del Norte. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but they're very, very known. And I've sang the national anthem, the Mexican national anthem in Mexico, which is a huge accomplishment for me. Having that, I was born, I'm an LA native, you know. I was born in Los Angeles, California.
Dodgers all the way. Shout out for the Dodgers.
Yes. Shout out to the Dodgers, that's right.
Now.
And the fact that they trusted and they allowed me to sing the Mexican national anthem over in Mexico was very, very big for me.
Yes.
And I'm also very grateful for that because I thought, like, we were not allowed to do that. Only natives from Mexico were allowed. I just thought it was maybe disrespectful to them, you know?
Yeah.
Because my parents were born in Mexico, but I wasn't. But they were open about it, and they were very welcoming, and I will never forget that. It's been really great, and like I said, I mean, hard work pays off, and I have my team to thank for that because it's a team effort, and this whole production, like Edgar Rodriguez produces my music, Bobby Castro writes it, he rewrote the song, the Adele song, as well as all the other songs that have been out and that are eventually coming out, so I have more music coming. So it's been really great. I have now Edith and Oscar helping me with PR and the label, and then I have the advisor, Andres Rodriguez, and I have my makeup artist, Lorena Rodriguez, who's also my advisor. She helps style me when I'm up there looking fabulous, thanks to her.
You got all those dresses. Because we have I've seen some pictures in red carpet, man, and these big events, and your dresses are just booming. We're actually posting some stuff right now as we're talking, and you got that little swag, little attitude, like that's right, I'm here. World be known, I am here.
Yeah, you have to. You know, you
Absolutely.
can't sell yourself short ever.
No.
And that goes for everyone. No one should ever sell themselves short. Ever.
Absolutely. Man, I mean, just Mexico allowing you that privilege and honor, because you're very right. That is a very proud country, and they just don't let anybody do it. And, you know, I met Julio Cesar Chavez. I'll tell you a quick story. I met Julio Cesar Chavez when I was a lot younger, and he told my mom, he said, make sure he learns Spanish. That's what he told my mom, and it always stuck in my head. And during that time that I met him, I really couldn't tell him how much I appreciated him, because my Spanish was just not where it needed to be. But for you to get up there and just kill it up there in Mexico. I mean, that's quite a privilege and opportunity.
Yeah, I was able to sing the Mexican national anthem for the Charros de Jalisco. That's a great, obviously, a baseball league, and very recognized. They have a lot of following, and it was really cool. And I recently also sang for the basketball team. They recently brought up a NBA in Mexico.
Thanks, KP.
So I sang for them too, twice already. That was pretty cool. So yeah, just opportunities keep coming up, and I'm ready. I'm ready for them. I've been working so hard. My team has been working so hard alongside. So
well, I want to get that.
happy.
I want to get that call from you that says, "Hey, Richard, check this out, man. I am singing at a Laker game, the national anthem." Or, "Hey, I got this opportunity. I'm singing in Las Vegas, this big fight or this big event." Or, "You know what? I'm on tour on this concert." I mean, big things are coming your way.
I hope so. God willing, I feel it. I really do. I have a lot of faith in my project and in my team, and I know that greater things are coming for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got a great attitude, and you don't forget where you came from. You know, your support team around you is your writers, producers, your managers, your PR, your publicists, your makeup artists. Everybody has a role to play.
Yeah.
Everybody has a lane to stay in, and that's a very important when you have a team, is that lane that we stay in and work on your strengths and just to continue to go forward. We were just talking about that yesterday. Yesterday we had, let's not forget about, you're on All Women Month of May for the Fighter's Voice. First time ever. I just felt like, you know what, I wanted
Thank you.
to.
What an honor.
Well, you know what? You're on there with some big names in the boxing and MMA industry. Last night we had Kelly Swanson, president of Swanson Communications, and the publicist for Floyd Money Mayweather. So the who's who are coming on the show and have been on this show. And, you know, and Nancy, I've reached out to her. I know she has a very busy schedule, but she always has a room here on the Fighter's Voice. You being on
That's
here.
wonderful.
You being on here mixed it all around, because we've had promoters, we've had publicists, we've had fighters, vocalists. Everybody has a part, and you know what? My daughter is a woman, so I've almost told her, do not ever sell yourself short. And I always use this example of the kitchen. The kitchen isn't for a woman. The kitchen is for anybody that can cook and contribute to their partner or their life or their family. It needs to be 50-50. A woman who walks right beside you, not in front of you or not behind you. And, you know, hey,
That's beautiful.
I'll let the cards fall where they may, because my mom was a very special, beautiful woman. And and I got that because I've never called anybody dad in my life. I never had to, and I don't regret doing that the way I was raised and grown up by a beautiful, strong, powerful woman in my mama, whose birthday is May 25th this month, and my son Richie's birthday is tomorrow, Richie. So everybody that...
Wow, should we sing her happy birthday?
I think
so
we should. I think we should, and Richie too. My mama, you can sing her in Spanish, and Richie, you can sing to him in English. And everybody that follows me, every year of my son that he's went to heaven, on his birthday, I always post thumbs up for Richie and everything that I do. But I get on this thing like, hey, send me and tag me your best thumbs up for Richie, and I'm just trying to get it going. And every time I'm behind the microphone is my serenity, and it keeps my son alive in everything that I do. So I don't even know where that came from. I just started sharing my story with you. Who's interviewing who, Janet?
Okay. I love it. No, I love it. This is what it's all about, connecting with each other.
Absolutely.
And sharing stories. I mean, this is real life,
It is real life.
And if my experiences kind of bring up some of yours, that's great. I don't have a problem. I'm on here for it, and that. I love this. I love the fact that, like I said, we can connect.
Yes.
With life experiences, and I'm sure your listeners are enjoying it too.
Well, this is a real show. This isn't plastic. I mean, it's not something we just wake up with and want to do. It's for the fighter. It's a platform for the fighter, and you're fighting for your career, and you're fighting to get ahead, and you continue to fight for that opportunity. And I've always said it, even Christina Potcher, a broadcaster for ESPN Top Rank Radio, she said the fighter's voice isn't just for the fighter. She got it. She understood. And I'm always telling people,
I love it.
You don't need to put a mouthpiece in your mouth to be on the fighter's voice. Every fighter has a voice, and
That's
so
great.
do you, and so does Janet. And I've been hashtagging
Thank
every
you.
woman has a voice. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I want to do this every month of May.
I love what you're doing. This is great, Richard. This is real good stuff.
Well, thank you. You know, I was just laying down one night and God put it in my heart. I just started thinking of my mama and Cassie and what can I do? And I just sit back and I'm saying, I wish I had a bigger platform so I can do it. I always say that, but I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to do it now. I got to treat things
Yes,
as if.
you know what? It could grow because, I mean, I appreciate it. And I'm sure every other woman who's been on your show so far appreciates it too, because not a lot of people give us that opportunity or the spotlight, you know, or maybe the respect. So I truly do appreciate it, and this is wonderful, and I'm sure that, I mean, this is going to grow.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you.
So
Well,
whatever I can do to help out with that, you know, it would be my pleasure.
iron sharpens iron. I always say that. Iron sharpens iron. And it's just making the right connections and just, you know, being real with people and being honest with people and being upfront. And I understand, you know, people do get busy because they're on the grind. They're always working. But sometimes people can make time for people, and sometimes time is more valuable than money. It's easy to, if you had money, to say, okay, here's $100, as opposed to, hey, I need to talk to you, I need to listen to you, I need a hug, I need someone to say it's going to be okay, someone to help me get over that hump. And iron sharpens iron.
That's great.
So let's talk
That's
about
great.
this before
and that's
I
so
let.
true.
Yes, it is. It is. I'm not going to let you go just yet. I know you still have some in you. I want to talk about how did that conversation take place after you got the gig at the Save Mart Center. 15,000 people. No, even before, when Rick got to finally hear you sing live. What was that conversation like? Because he's kind of, you know, he doesn't give too many compliments. He'll say, okay, good job, and just walk away. I wanted to know, how did that conversation go?
Well, I mean, he shook my hand, and then we did like a light excitement, like hug. But he said he's always happy to work with me, and I'll never forget his work. He's always been super sweet and professional, like I said. And I mean, the fact that he has invited me several times to sing for JC Ramirez fights is big for me, and it speaks a lot alone already, you know, besides the words we exchange, which are, you blew it out of the park, that was like a great job done, you know, etc. And so he even compliments Bobby, which is my manager, who comes with me to all these events as well. So it's really fulfilling, and I'm super happy, and I feel grateful for these events and for the opportunity for me to be there and share my passion with them. They have a passion for the sport, for boxing, and I have a passion for singing and bringing them, you know, like their adrenaline up, and I feel like it just goes hand in hand, you know, and it's great that I'm able to do that with them too.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you this. Which singers today influence you? Which singers back when you first started has influenced you? I'm not saying you're going down the same trail, but you said, you know what, I really dig what she's doing. Even if it's a guy, man, he has vocals, I like his style. Well, who made the biggest impact for Janet Uribe?
Let's see. Well, it's old school Mexican singers like Lola Beltran, like Juan Gabriel. I'm sure a lot of people know who he is. And then American singers like Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey. I'm just like an old school, like,
that's right.
So maybe Aretha Franklin.
Okay.
My God, could she sing? You know, it's like Etta James, like Otis Redding. You know, it's I go way back sometimes.
There you go. So when you're not singing or listening to that type of vocals or R&B or love ballads, what does Janet Uribe like to do on her own time to get on the dance floor? What music do you listen to? What makes you want to move? What gives you the goosebumps? What do you enjoy in your time?
You know, I actually like all kinds of music. I mean, I can do from like, you know, merengue to like, you know, reggaeton to...
I'm going to have to get one of your CDs, man.
cumbias.
ASAP. I am. I'm going to need to get some of your music. Work out to it, you know?
Yes, yes. So I do it all, like maybe some pop sometimes here and there, you know?
Right on, man. I mean, that's good because you can open up different doors, different avenues, and you have different options when that happens. When that happens, definitely, I agree with you there. I mean, I do a podcast, and whenever they need a ring announcer, I'll ring announce. When they need post-fight or pre-fight interviews, we'll fill in the gap. I never want to limit myself, and it sounds like you're not doing that at all. I mean, whatever style, you're ready to rock and roll, so to speak, and just grab the mic and do what you do best.
Yeah. Have fun. You gotta have fun with it, so it won't all just feel like work, you know?
Yes. Now, how much of that passion is still in you when you first walked out and said, "Hey, I want to be an actress. I want to get involved in acting"? Is that still something you want to do in the future? Is it still inside you, or you kind of put that to rest, or are you just going to let the cards fall where they may?
Yeah, I think that hopefully it comes with the whole, working in the industry. Sometimes opportunities arise, and I'm just right now my focus is music. But my passion and the love for that, I think, can be replaced. But like we were saying earlier, I'm not going to limit myself, and if an opportunity comes along, I'll be more than happy to take it. And I feel like you learn, you grow as a person, and who's to say that it's not like a hit movie or a series or something.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's
do some acting. In some of my music videos, they have me do some acting with the people involved in the actors. So that's cool. I have a little taste of that.
That's good. Do you still rehearse your acting lessons? Your as you took those classes, or is it just comes natural to you?
Not since 2003, 2004.
Oh, okay. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a big minute. Yep.
But
a long minute, I should say.
But you're an entertainer, and you're ready to take those steps. I don't want to say risk, and sometimes it is, but those steps with confidence, and you bring your A game in every single thing you do. That's what it sounds like. Because I've been watching you, even your workouts, your cooking, whatever you're involved in. I mean, you just seem to give it your all, and you're loving life right now.
Yeah, you just have to. I feel like we have to make the best out of every situation that we're in. Everybody goes through things, and I have my moments too where I get anxiety and I feel like I'm not 100%, because sometimes it's emotionally draining, and I feel like it's natural to feel that way, and it's okay. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to just sit down, relax, take a break, and then but don't let that take the best of you. Get up the next day, start all over, and give it like your 1,000%. You got to push yourself. Because if you don't, nobody else will,
Exactly. And I believe it's your surroundings too, and who you have conversations with, and who you spend time with. It'll rub off. And, success it's contagious, and so is downfall. Mm-hmm. So I try to, avoid those steps in my life, and I try to take the right step that I can. And as well as I know, it's every step is a blessing, and we never know what's going to happen, and we got to be prepared for it, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Agree.
So I want to talk.
Very well said.
I want to talk to you about this. I know you still have some ideas in you. I'm going to put the entrepreneur hat on you. Do you want your own perfume, your own makeup, your own ladies' wear, your own swag wear? What is it that you're thinking of? Of a millionaire said, "I want to invest in you on a product." What would you tell them? What are the blueprint? What's the blueprint, and what's the plans?
I've always been into like clothing, possibly like a clothing line, like maybe design some like dresses. Like high fashion attire, perhaps. That would be super awesome to do. I think it falls into the whole artistry side of me.
There you go.
But that would be definitely something I wouldn't mind looking into eventually,
Oh, absolutely. And we talked about limitations and never want to limit yourself, and how you would reinvent yourself if you needed to, and how you would invest in yourself and doing something you love. Ali Setback told me one time, he said, Richard, you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I truly believe that.
I believe that too.
So when you're not on tour and you're not singing, what do you do on your free time?
Well, I seldom have free time. I'm
Okay.
also a behavioral therapist. I don't know if you know this, but since I have my degree in psychology,
Yeah.
when I came back and I moved to LA, I got a job to kind of support my dreams.
That's right.
And to help pay for a lot of my recordings. And I became a behavioral therapist, and I'm still currently a behavioral therapist. I've been so lucky and blessed that my company is very flexible with my hours, and even my clients that I have been really flexible and very understanding of my other, I guess, part of life, my other side. I guess they say that I live a double life, which is funny, but it's kind of true, and they're very supportive of it, and we kind of just work around each other's schedule, and we make adjustments to make everything work. So when I'm not doing that, I do behavioral therapy for like 8 hours a day.
Wow.
I took it all. Yeah, I'm able to do it all so far, thank God. I find a way.
That's a solid schedule. So what advice do you have to give to, say you went to go talk to at a high school and you made an impact and you get the applause, they hear your story, it's done, and now they're about to escort you out, but then we'll say 3 students came to you and just asked you a question like, how could I get started? How hard is it to get where you're at? I mean, what advice do you have to give to those youngsters that are out there, or anybody in the even middle age that has that hidden dream or that hidden passion, and they never really took that step forward, or maybe they didn't have the opportunity and now they do? What advice do you have for them?
I think everyone's journey is different.
Yes.
But I guess the best thing that I could say to them is you have to go out there and find any opportunity you can, whether it's to start with a vocal coach, if it's through singing, or whatever it is that you want to do in life. You have to go and knock on a door, and say, hey, I want to do this. And eventually everything will follow. I think that any other steps you have to take will follow by, following whatever you decide to do first. Like I said, whether it is to maybe join a competition or join a class, or I don't know, even go see, like, get a mentor, something, some kind of guidance and perhaps support, inspiration. I always look for inspiration, and I look up to people that have been very successful, and I don't follow other steps per se, because you can never, everyone's journey is different, like I said. But I do pay attention to, like, their do's and their don'ts, to kind of, avoid a lot of hiccups along the way.
Exactly.
But yeah, it just kind of, it all goes with your intuition as well. You got to follow your heart and listen and pay attention to these things that are thrown in your direction. I think that it just depends on you and the willpower that you have. Like, never stop.
Exactly. Very well said. Now, how have you handled the situation that the whole world is going through right now with this virus, with this disease, whatever you want to call it, that's out there? People are giving it different names. They're giving it cuss word names. How have you handled it, and what have you done to continue to stay motivated in your career during this process?
I've been in quarantine, so I've been at home. Everything that I have been doing has been from home, except yesterday my team took a lot of preventative measures, and I had to record a video. But, everyone was wearing a mask, and it was just like a limited amount of people.
Right.
But I've been doing just that, keeping busy. And at first it's kind of hard. You try to find what works and what doesn't, trial and error, and so I figured out what works out for me and what I could do still from home. And I go from there, you know. I also, like you mentioned earlier, I work out, I cook. So I try to find sanity in little things like painting. I just finished redecorating my mom's living room and hallway. I repainted everything. So I take little mental breaks, and then I go back to music writing. And, you know, luckily I've already had a lot of songs recorded, and they're just ready to be released. Like Solo Pido, which is a translation for All I Ask, the Adele song, was already recorded way before all of this started. The only thing that we didn't have ready was the music video, which is, you know, unfortunate because this whole COVID thing delayed that. But we were able to put out a lyrics video. So you see, we find a way to make it work.
Absolutely.
We just don't stop what we're doing. We keep it pushing. And we adapt. And that's what we've been doing. My team and I, we have been adapting and trying to find a way to still keep it going, you know, with preventative measures, just like everyone else, and following through with the whole quarantine guidelines.
Exactly. Like me, I'm not even in the studio. I'm in the shower right now, and you can't even tell. This is the shower curtain behind me, and we're making...
That's awesome.
No, I'm missing. No. That would be a good idea, though, because, you know, you get that right echo and that right acoustic inside there in the shower. You know, like a lot of people say you sing in the shower because everybody, I guess, sounds good to themselves, or they think they sound good to themselves. But
I've done some videos in the bathroom. I'm not gonna lie.
There you go.
The acoustics are great.
Oh, they're awesome. Even I could probably hold a note, which you never want to hear. But yeah, no, the acoustics are great inside the shower. And I don't know how we got started talking about that, but and I just had a, you know. I don't want to keep it too real where we can't move around and be all stiff, because on the Fighter's Voice, you got to bring that entertainment, and it's all about keeping it real and people with real stories, and such as yourself. One question came in today, and it's from Bill Coddington from Merced, California. He said, do you do any covers? Do you sing any artists' songs, any other artists' songs?
I do in Spanish. So most of my music, if not all, it's regional Mexican music. Okay. But I've done some acoustic songs. But yes, I've done some covers. I've done some Juan Gabriel covers. Nothing in English yet, but I am looking into possibly doing some covers in English. I think that would be great and fun at the same time. But yeah, so I hope they, you know, they like what's out there so far, and I look forward to pleasing, you know, everyone's ears once in a while, and possibly recording some English covers. That would be great.
No, exactly. I mean, you know, we talked about limitation, and you're not doing that. So I'm going to switch it around just a little bit before I let you go. I got to ask you, and I'm not shocked if you say, you know what, I really don't pay attention to that, but maybe you may flip the whole script. Who's your favorite Who's your favorite boxer out there, and how much of a boxing fan are you?
Okay, well, I for sure saw this question coming. I thought it was going to be one of the first questions you were going to ask.
No. I want to hear the whole Janet Uribe story.
Oh, that's awesome, though. But no, I love it. This has been a great talk for sure. But I guess I'd have to say my favorite, only because I grew up watching him. My family is a big boxing fan, so I'd say Julio Cesar Chavez, because, you know, I have a lot of childhood memories with his fights, with the reunions and all that. But I have a lot of love for obviously the most recent fighters that I've had a chance to meet in person, because I see the passion behind it, and I see how they leave their heart on the ring as well when they're up there. So I guess I could say like Leo Santa Cruz, also, you know, JC Ramirez, who obviously I've done a lot of performances for. Yes. And then we have Mikey Garcia as well. That's right. I've done some of his events. So not his fights, but he's had like other sporting events too.
Yes,
Like,
yes. He does some promotion.
exhibitions.
Garcia Promotions
he
as
does
well.
exhibitions, which
Right.
are fun. They're very fun to watch, and obviously to be part of as well. So yeah, I guess those would be some of the top fighters on my book.
There you go. So you saw that question coming. You thought it was going to be right off the bat, huh? You were ready too. You said, "No, I'm ready. I'm not going to just put one fight. I'm going to put 2 or 3 or 4. I'll make one up along the way."
Yeah. It's because I love to hear everyone's story, and like I said, I just had a chance to maybe know them at a more like intimate level when it comes to knowing their background more, and being there, present, live in their fights. Just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I see it through a different perspective, not just like a fan. I guess I can connect some way, because at the end of the day, it's still passion, and it's art, it's a sport.
Yes,
so it's cool.
Every single fighter that you mentioned, I had the privilege and honor of meeting them and spending some quality time with Jose Ramirez, Mikey Garcia. They always open up their gym. I had a chance to meet Leo Santa Cruz in Las Vegas. Julio Cesar Chavez, growing up, I had the opportunity of meeting him, and my mom was able to meet him as well. And though that is good company, the fans and the supporters, they see the impact inside of the ring. What they don't realize is outside of the ring, yes, Mikey Garcia likes to go on the track with his car, and yes, they actually buy groceries, and yes, they actually wear a baseball cap or root for a team. And a lot of people, a lot of fans, you got to remember they're human beings, and they have a story, and they have a journey, and most of all, they have a fight. They never stop fighting. They continue to fight forward for their life, for their opportunity, and to hold things in place, especially as a man. A man needs to be the first one up and the last one to go to bed in a household. A man always, and I hope I don't get a lot of emails from men, but they want to say it's my way or the highway. Well, listen, do you really want that full responsibility? First one up, last one to go to bed. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get some emails saying, "Richard, what are you doing, my man?"
Right.
But it's all good. I'm just having some fun here, and we're going with the flow. Now, before I let you go, I have one favor for you, ma'am. Tomorrow is Thursday, May 21st. Send me a picture, tag it with your best thumbs up. It can be you, it can be you and your crew, you and your family, and it's my son's birthday. It's that special day, and I've
how
asked
about I
you.
sing him happy birthday now? Is that okay?
That'll be awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah. So Richie,
Okay.
right, is his name?
Yes, Richie. Yes, he is.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of freestyle it right here, right now.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Richie. Happy birthday to you.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. That's awesome. You keep going. I'm gonna need some tissue, but thank you. It means a lot to me.
Aw.
It means a lot to me. And
Thank you. Now, all the way to heaven. I know he's proud of you for sure.
Hey, you know what? I hope so. And
He is. I know he is.
One day, he can tell me, and I'll tell him how much I'm so proud of him. So. Yes.
I know he's smiling down on you for sure. God bless him. God bless you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I truly believe he is, too. Whenever I envision him, I always see him with a short haircut. And like when you graduate, you wear that what is it, that robe? I always envision him with a white robe and just short hair. I always do, because sometimes God allows me to have dreams of him. And every time I have a dream, he has a short haircut. Yeah, my Richie. My everything.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I call my daughter Cassie my everything, and I call Richie my pride and joy. So I'll tell you. I'll tell you a quick story, a personal story. Richie's mom, she wanted to have more kids, and I told her, I said, Jennifer, I can never love a son as much as I love Richie, and I said I can never love a daughter as much as I love Cassandra. So I was blessed with 2 beautiful kids. I don't talk to my ex-wife that much, but every birthday, I always text her or get a hold of her and say thank you. At first, she was like, what are you talking about? Aww. But thank you, because I didn't have these beautiful kids by myself. So I wanted to say that and share it with the
That's
world.
wonderful.
First time I ever shared it with the world, but special occasion, my son's birthday tomorrow, and I have you as a guest, and you sang a beautiful song for my son Richie. I want to thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for spending time with the Fighter's Voice. You always have a platform here. If you say, Richard, I want to release this single, this album, is there any way, not just myself, even my band, even my company can get booked here on the Fighter's Voice? And I'm going to say, Janet, let's make it happen.
Oh, thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. I mean, it's an honor, like I said earlier. I always like to be very thankful with the people who give me the opportunity to even talk about me, and they want to know who I am. So I'm really grateful for that. So thank you for always giving me the time of day.
Absolutely. So how do we follow you? How do we subscribe? What's your YouTube? How do we get your music? Let all the viewers, fans, and followers know. How do we get a hold and stay in contact with Janet Uribe?
Well, I do have a YouTube channel under Janet Uribe. You can look that up. You'll find a lot of videos there, and new videos coming soon too. And then we have Instagram, where I'm mostly active on, which is underscore Janet Uribe underscore. And then, I'm on Facebook as well. I have a Twitter. And then I'm all over the digital platforms, Apple Music. I am on Spotify, Pandora. So,
wow.
Yeah.
You're everywhere. You're out there. Your manager's doing a great job with you. Awesome.
Yes, definitely they are. I like to think so. My team is great. Like I said, I'm very blessed. I'm very lucky, and the fact that we're all on the same page with the same goals as a team, and they are growing with me individually in their own lane too. That it's incredible.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go so you could enjoy that Modelo. I was actually going to post a picture. I sent one today to my engineer producer today. It was a picture of you enjoying a Modelo. And I was going to talk to you about what's your favorite adult beverage, but I already know. And hey, it's okay.
You're so funny.
Yeah, I mean, there it is right there. We're posting it right now as we speak, so I'm going to send you the link to it too, and you're enjoying yourself. That's Janet. You're just relaxing.
Yeah, why not? We all need to sometimes.
Exactly. Hey, well, I'm going to let you go. It's been a privilege and an honor. As soon as we're done this evening, I'm going to send you the link. Take what you need from it. Have fun with it.
Thank you so much.
Share it. And, iron sharpens iron. If you ever need anything from us here at the Fighter's Voice, just give me a call, give me a text, reach out, and we may do the same.
Thank you so much, Richard. Yeah, I'm here for whatever you need. I'm always happy to talk to you.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. This is Richard Ortiz with the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. Remember, every woman has a voice, and so do you. It's a wrap here in Fresno, California. Dedicate this special show to my son, Richie. Te quiero mucho, mijo. I love you with all my heart. And tomorrow is your day. I love you. And thumbs up for Richie.
We're back, baby.
Hi, I'm Janet Uribe, and I am with the Fighter's Voice.
The Fighter's Voice. Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always